So you want to move to the country, huh? Well, hey, if that's your dream, I fully support it. That was our dream. We did it. We've been living on our 18-acre property for over 4 years now. But there are some things that I didn't know about moving to the country that I didn't expect. So I am going to share 10 things that I wish I knew about living in the country to help people out. If it's your dream to have some land, to move out of the city, you need to know the reality of it. Some of it's good, some of it's bad, but it's all part of country life. I think first of all, we need to define what the country is, right? And that is tough to define. That's different for every single person, right? We all have a different perspective on what the country is. Now, where we live, we're about 40 miles from a city that anybody non-local would know about, Asheville, the tourist capital of the world these days. But we're about 5 miles or so from a small town that has a little downtown area, and there's a grocery store and things like that. Gas stations aren't that far away. But I've learned that one man's small town is another man's big city. So where we live, I kind of feels like close country. And then there's people that live way, way, way out there where they may have a 40-minute drive to our small town, and our small town is their big city. So country is what you make of it. We all have our different definition and experience, but what I'm going to share with you is my experience, and I think it's going to be true. At least most of the things are going to be true for most people, I think. Number one, road maintenance. You are going to be in charge of maintaining your own road, most likely. Lots of us live in the country on private roads. The county doesn't maintain our road. If it snows, they don't care. It's basically our driveway, but it's a half mile that we're in charge of maintaining. There's erosion problems. We've had flash floods this year in the mountains. But there's nobody that's going to fix it except for you. So every year we have to get more gravel. We have a friend that has done some tractor work over here. And now we're going to be in charge of it more. We're going to be more proactive. We're going to get better drainage. But yeah, you got to be in charge of your road because the county and city aren't going to do it. Guns. Almost everyone in the country has guns. I'm not talking if I'm pro-gun, anti-gun. That's not what my channel's about. But everybody has guns. On a nice weekend, we usually hear guns from neighbors going off, echoing in the hollers and across the valley and the road. Everybody has a gun. Number three, the internet sucks. That's right, country internet might as well be non-existent almost sometimes. The internet at our house goes off all the time, goes down, which is tough having a YouTube channel if you don't have internet. So it's kind of, an oxymoron having a YouTube channel in the country because it's tough to get your connection. So internet in the country is not like internet in the city. Maximoo. I guess number four is cell phone reception. Cell phone reception is not that good in the country. With my wife's phone, especially, she has to be on our front porch in order to talk to anybody. So that's definitely not a fun thing to have to do if you want to talk to anybody. And we get lots of missed calls. It's like sometimes friends think we're ignoring them, or my family thinks I'm ignoring them or something. or my wife can't get a hold of me, or I can't get a hold of her. But it's just that the reception is not that good. We have mountains all around us, and we just got to deal with it. Shopping. Yes, shopping. You have to plan ahead if you're shopping in the country. Where we live, the closest thing we have to a clothes store is like a fancy dollar store. We're about 25 miles from a Lowe's and a Walmart. And we have some small hardware stores, but again, they don't carry much. They carry basics, but if you need something, you have to plan ahead in order to get it. Shopping as well. Where we live, stores have weird hours, especially the restaurants. The first weekend or so that my family was here 4 years ago, I told my girls I was going to take them out to celebrate for buying our farm. Friday night, 8 o'clock, we go downtown to our little nearby town. Every restaurant was closed. It was Friday night at 8 p.m. Every restaurant was closed, so that took a little bit of adjusting. Things have changed, actually. Things have gotten better with that. But, you know, shopping is tough to do. If you want something, you may have to drive a half an hour to get it. It's not like living in the city where you can just go down to, you know, any strip malls right around the corner for most people. So there's times when we may spend half of our Saturday shopping in Asheville because that's the closest town. That's a 40-minute drive. And it's not like we're wasting that Saturday. That's something we have to do. We just got to plan it. And sometimes that can get annoying, especially if I'm working on a project and I run out of screws, or I need, like, you know, one piece of wood or something. I can't just run down to get it usually, and you know, it's just a pain in the butt. Being off-grid. We are not off-grid, but most people in the country are already halfway there, not even by choice, just by necessity. So if you live in the country, you probably have a septic tank, you probably have a well, you probably have a wood stove or fireplace. That's 3 big steps right there to becoming off-grid. We have looked into solar panels. They are expensive, but maybe one day. We even had some solar folks come out and look, but yeah, it's expensive, so I don't think we're quite there yet. But if you want to become off-grid, just by moving to the country, you're forced to be halfway there. If our well breaks, the well pump breaks, I'm not calling the county to come fix it. They don't care. It's not theirs, it's ours. But I kind of like that in a way. You got to learn how to do a lot of stuff. Plumbing, I am not a plumber. I spent hours just replacing some of our outside faucets. We had a really cold winter. 3 of our 5 outdoor faucets all froze. And again, I'm not a plumber. I had a steep learning curve recently, a very frustrating learning curve on how to fix those faucets. Number 6, there's no trash service in the country. So you better get used to taking your own trash to town usually. Lots of places in the country have transfer stations and dump centers. So we got to take our trash to the dump basically every week. And that's not a pretty thing. So if you don't want to deal with trash, you probably don't want to move to the country. So far it sounds like everything I'm saying is bad. But I'm just being real. We love living in the country. That's why we're here. So there are some amazing, amazing things about living in the country. So number 7, I can't do number 7 because I'm holding this selfie stick. Number 7 is you're going to spend a lot of time with your family.
I ran out of hose. I didn't want
Well, we got a shovel there. I think we can dig more holes, hon. It is getting dark here at Whistle Thicket. Number 8, animals. If you don't like animals, you probably don't want to move to the country. Or it's not like you got to have animals, but you can't move to the country and be mad if your neighbors have animals. We have goats, pigs, horses, chickens, quails, dogs, cats, a parrot, 2 pet rats. Did I say cats? I'm sure I'm leaving something out, but that's one of the reasons we moved here, so we could have more animals, because that's something my family likes to do, loves to do as a family, is taking care of animals and raising them. But don't move to the country if you don't like animals. We don't want you here, actually. You got to understand, if you're moving out to the country, you're going to be experiencing country people and the homestead lifestyle. Jobs. You should know about country jobs, or jobs in the country. It is harder to get a job in a rural area unless you have certain skills. There's a lot of small business owners. Lots of guys just have a backhoe or a tractor, and that's how they make their living. But there are not a lot of good jobs in the country. But of course, now things are changing. Lots of people can work from home doing online businesses, things like that. But there definitely aren't as many jobs or as many high-paying jobs in the country. So if you're moving out to the country, you want to figure out what your job is going to be probably before you move there. Here's number 10 for you. I think I made a list of 10. Maybe it's only a list of 9. But number 10 that I learned is that now that I live in the country, I'm never moving back to the city. I still work in the city. I drive 40 miles and I love my job, but I'm not going to move back to the city. There's just so many things you can do here that you can't anywhere else. You can explore your passions. I've made a whole bunch of mushroom blogs. I'm doing beekeeping. My garden's going great. Amy has her horse business she's working on. Roan's playing in the creek. I mean, life is just better in the country. And I knew that, but I didn't know that I would love it so much that I'm never going to move back to the city. I hope not. I hope life keeps going the way I want it to, and we'll be out here for a long, long time. Well, it is getting dark. I don't even know if this video segment is gonna work because it's so dark. But yeah, it's just great to be out in the country. Now, I'm not saying you have to be living in the country to be a homesteader. That's not what I'm saying at all. I started out as an urban homesteader. My backyard was about as big as my garden is here. It's like 30 by 25 feet or so. That was my backyard in my small little city house. But I know a lot of urban homesteaders have that dream of moving to the country, and I think you can do it. You can do it. But I mean, you know, just be happy where you're at. Don't always be living in the future either. That's not how you should live your life, right? Just enjoy where you're at, enjoy the people you're with, and keep on homesteading.